I've been making videos recently about things like finding the right RV, the cost of RV travel, RV loans, and RV life in general. So I thought I'd look into something that a lot of people don't really consider when they buy that RV of their dreams. Selling that RV after you're done with it. And now I know. You just got that RV, or maybe you're still thinking about which one to get. So probably aren't thinking about the long term. And that's fine. But things happen, and it's good to know where you stand if and when you do want to sell that RV. A lot of people bandy about percentages about how much you lose once the RV drives off the lot or after a year of ownership or whatever, but what is this based on? Nothing I can find. There are too many factors to accurately state an exact amount of depreciation. I mean, there are things like the age of the RV, the make and the model, the popularity of a specific type of RV at any given time, how well it's been maintained, and so on. So I'm less certain to believe an RV dealer whose goal is to make a profit or to read some blurb on a website without some kind of research behind it. Mind you, I have found some articles published by individuals and insurance companies, and they weren't badly done, but the ones I found were either very generic, talked more about trailers or Class A's, or over 7 years old and didn't take into consideration the issues we've been all through since 2020. Since we own a Class B, I was interested in how they are affected by depreciation, taking into account the events of the last few years. RV prices skyrocketed during recent times because of problems getting parts, limited van availability, chip shortages, and well, you know. It looks like those days are coming to a close and things are getting a little more reasonable. Well, I hope they're getting away. Which is good news for those looking for a new RV. This may not be so good news for those that want to sell their RV, especially if they bought it when people were paying list prices and even more. But so it goes. It would be difficult to find exactly how much RVs were selling for any specific year, but we can compare what they are selling for right now by reviewing websites like RV Trader and JD Powers. With that in mind, I'll be comparing current 2023 prices to older vehicles that are on the market now. So if you are one of those that purchased an RV at list price or even greater, your percentage depreciation will be even greater. Sorry. Although a lot of what I'm doing can be considered guesswork, I'm trying to back up the conclusions with at least a modicum of research and real-world prices. It may not be enough to be very accurate, but it's a start. I thought it would be a good idea to look at the more popular selling Class Bs, as these are the ones most likely to be bought and sold in the coming years, so I chose the Winnebago Travato KL, the Coachman Beyond 22C all-wheel drive, the Airstream Interstate 19, and the Gretsch Strada 3500 XD 170 Extended. Starting with the Winnebago Travato KL, we see the average retail price in 2023 was $150,000. Remember, this is on an average price. It could be more or less expensive depending on a lot of factors, but it does give us an average starting point. If we look at the price of a 2022 Travato, it currently sells for just under $131,000, 13% less than the current model. From this, we can infer that if you buy a 2023 model, it will drop to only 87% of its original value in 1 year. Again, too many factors to be entirely accurate, and of course, you have to consider that selling to an RV dealer will get you even less, since they need to resell it and make a profit. But again, it gives us an average value. Continuing on to 2021, you can see the value drops by another 14%, or only 73% of its original value. And by 2020, you lose another 6% to only 1/3 its original value. That is in just 3 years. At this rate, I estimate the Travado would only be worth about a third of its value within 10 years, assuming general wear and tear. Your mileage may vary. The Coachman Beyond sold for an average of just under 130 grand in 2023, and initially lost more than the Travado the first year at only 80% of its original value. But as you can see, it lost only 8% in 2 years, so its depreciation is about the same as the Travado. The Beyond used to be called the CrossFit in 2020, and it was a little different design. It was actually valued at more than the 2021 Beyond, so maybe it was popular for some reason and has kept its value. It goes to show that depreciation is not an exact science. The Interstate 19 lost 18% the first year, 7% the next, and ultimately losing just under a third of its value by 2020. By this, I infer that most Class B vans follow this general pattern of an initial larger percentage depreciation, then a slower fall as time goes by. Granted, this is a very limited population of vans I'm looking at, but they are some of the most popular, so I feel my assumption is close to correct. Of course, if the Class B is a popular model, it may hold more value as it ages, like the Beyond apparently did. The last model I looked at was the Gretsch Strada. This is a luxury vehicle, and it was the most expensive of all the brands I looked at an average of just over $176,000 in 2023. The first year, it only lost 9% of its value, which I attribute to its popularity and superior build quality. I mean, it better have superior quality at that price. A 2021 model can be bought for a bit over 145 grand, a drop of another 8%, and you can say the same for 2020, with the final value at 3/4 its original value. All in all, it did better than any of the other 3 Class Bs I looked at. Again, higher quality, so less depreciation. Now remember, I'm saying these RVs lost value as they aged, but I'm not looking at a 2023 model and somehow traveling into the future to see prices in 2020 or 2025 or 26. If I could do that, I wouldn't be looking at van prices. I'd be looking at stock market prices to see where I should invest. And needless to say, that ain't happening. No, what I'm doing is looking at older models of the same Class B and assuming a 2023 model will most likely depreciate at that same rate in the future. Is this a valid assumption? We'd have to look at this in the years to come to be certain, but at the very least, I think this is a better way to estimate depreciation than just guessing at some percentage based on hearsay or what people say. Does this change your view on investing in a Class B? Are you thinking, if they lose so much in just a few years, are they really worth the cost? Well, as I've said it before, and I'll say it again, RV travel isn't about a money investment. You don't do it to save money on travel or to earn money in the long run. It doesn't work that way. It is an investment in experiences, the kind you just don't find in any other form of travel. The question you need to ask and answer: are the experiences you gain worth the cost of depreciation as that RV ages? Be seeing you.